G'day, and welcome back to Everlasting Summer. It appears we're being paired up with Xenia for the hike. So, I slowly approached Xenia. Well, I guess we'll be going together. She looked up at me.
Don't you even think that I'm glad?
Said Xenia seriously. Why on earth should you feel glad? Asked naively.
Never mind. It'd be much better if you just shut up.
I can't remember her voice. It couldn't get any better than this. She turned her back on me and followed the other pioneers. We're in the forest again. I still haven't seen any special reason to walk in pairs. You might fall down the tunnel again. Anyway, we were walking on the well-trodden forest trails and it would be quite difficult to get lost here, even if I wanted to. Moreover, while we'd already been hiking for half an hour, we weren't rushing into the depths of the forest, trying to face all the dangers that could test our courage and harden our pioneer spirits. But instead, we were just walking around in circles. However, if we take into account that Olga Dmitrievna was our chief, this hike would be compared to a hobbit's march from the Shire to Mordor. Okay. Just as Xenia insisted, I was following her at a distance in silence. The librarian seemed to be perfectly okay with it. Hey, need to know when we'll reach our destination?
What?
The place where we'll settle down and set up camp.
The whole point of this hike isn't to set up camp, but the hiking itself. You don't get it.
Obviously not. Because if I got it, I wouldn't have asked that question. Yeah, it seemed that I didn't understand a thing about hiking. I guess you're right, but still.
I don't know.
She replied sharply and quickened her pace, whilst walking backwards. I caught up with her and asked, "Listen, why are you always so... You get punched in the face for that?" I was about to say mean, but stopped short. I haven't done anything bad to you, and I'm not going to. She glared at me in surprise.
Always so. What?
Well, unsociable, kind of. Or is it something about me? It could be something about me.
Oh, cut that stupidity out already.
As you wish. I decided not to start a conversation with her for the rest of the hike. Oh, now we're in a different part of the forest. At last, Olga Dmitrievna decided to end this Sisyphean toil.
It's time to halt.
The place chosen turned out to be quite a large glade, with a few tree trunks laid in half circle to make an improvised arbor, with the remains of a campfire in the middle. Obviously, such hikes are a tradition of this camp. I was sent to gather firewood together with the other boys. Don't worry, we'll get some wood. It didn't take long because there were a lot of branches and lots of various sizes lying around. Lots of branches of varying size. Eventually, Olga Dmitrievna lit the fire using some old newspapers. I was eager to know what was written, but couldn't discern anything other than Soviet symbols. Pioneers took their places on the fallen log benches and started to talk about things. It seems that the final goal of this event had been achieved. You have reached your destination. The only thing missing were a pot of fish soup, aluminium cups of vodka, and a guitar. But I wouldn't be surprised if these would appear somehow.
What are you thinking about?
Slavia sat next to me. Nothing special. Just enjoying the hike. I answered sarcastically. Yes, you're enjoying the hike, aren't you? You better be.
You don't look so happy.
Well, I'm not about to jump for joy. Sorry about that.
Okay, I won't disturb you.
Bye then. She sat with me for a while, but after realizing that I wasn't in the mood for talking, she left me to enjoy my introspection all alone. And all I wished for was to lie down in bed and fall asleep as soon as possible. But I was being surrounded by smoke and the useless chatter of pioneers around me instead. They were cheering and laughing and in general enjoying this warm summer evening. In the far side of the glade, I noticed that Lena was arguing with Eliza intensely. And Lena seemed like complete opposites to me. Slavia had left to go somewhere after our conversation, it seems. Electronic and Shurek were trying furiously to prove something to Olga Dmitrievna. No idea what. Looks like I'm the only one who doesn't belong here. Should I try to find out what they're going on about, or should I just stay seated? I could try to find out and see what's going on. But then I could just stay seated anyway. Yeah, I'll just stay seated. All I was doing was just watching the fire. There is a saying that claims that one could watch it forever, as well as running water. But there was also some third thing there. What was that?
One could watch the three things forever. Burning fire, running water, and how other people work.
Did I use my voice? The camp leader pulled me out of my daydreaming.
Semyon, don't you think it's too early to relax?
But what else would I need to do? I honestly couldn't get that Olga Dmitrievna wanted for me.
I don't know.
She stopped for a moment.
But if there's something to be done, then do it without hesitation.
She smiled ambiguously and went back to the fire to throw a few branches on it. Gonna throw me on it instead. After those words, I'm completely sure that she treats me like a personal slave. You sure? Or at least like I'm a free labor force, which is strictly speaking the same thing. I sighed and put my head down on my hands, hoping my torments would be over for today. Time patted me on the shoulder. I looked up and saw Shuriken Electronic, who sat next to me. What do you want? I asked tiredly.
Don't be sad.
Is there anything better to do?
Look, we've been discussing the possibilities for the advancement of the Cybernetics Club with Olga Dmitrievna. And there is a problem. We need more guys.
Well, it would advance the creation of making robotic cat girls, and isn't that a good thing? If you could. No,
If you could.
he hesitated. Advancement and those guys are incompatible with each other. I said nothing and started to look over the pioneers around me instead.
Well,
I don't have time. Can't you see that I'm always busy with the camp leader's errands?
yeah, I guess you're right. It's kind of embarrassing how it all went today with Alanya.
I looked at him with surprise. It seemed that Druid claims himself for the cake accident. Yeah, it is. All the pioneers seem to be here, but I couldn't spot Slavia anywhere.
I think she is angry with me.
What? Why would that be? Who? I asked absently.
Uliana.
What that? Still can't figure out how to pronounce that.
Maybe I should apologize.
No, it's not your fault. We sat silently for a while, and then I stood up and said, "My legs are numb, I better take a walk." They made no reply. Thanks for listening. I made a few circles around our improvised camp, noticing the close looks of the camp leader following me. Looks like old Dmitrievna couldn't wait to come up with some kind of new task for me. What shall I do next? I haven't found Slavia anywhere. Maybe I should go try and find her. On the other hand, I felt sorry for Uliana every time I recalled her upset face. Maybe this hike isn't the most entertaining thing ever, but sitting there all alone isn't any better either. But at the same time, I didn't want to go anyway. Well, if Slavia's gone somewhere, and I mean, Uliana can just face the consequences of what she's done. If I remained seated, I don't think much would happen, really. But then again, something else could happen. I mean, Slavia couldn't be far. I guess that's enough for me for today. I sat in my previous place and waited for the end of the hike patiently. I am most physically able to feel the looks of the camp leader aimed at me. At last she stood up and declared,
And now, let's play cities.
"Play what?" I had nothing against the game itself, but it was obvious that the hike would take longer because of it. Pioneers sat around the fire. I noticed Lena and Eliza, who took their places on a trunk opposite to me. It seemed that everything was alright. Just a few minutes ago, I thought the opposite while looking at their quarrel. But anything is possible. I'd really like to know what they were talking about, but it's impossible now, and I could feel tiredness growing in me more and more. My mind was completely blank. Then how am I coming up with these sentences? To be precise, my head was so heavy that there was no place in it for ideas to unfold. While in my better times my brain appeared to be a wide highway with millions of thoughts running by, chasing one another and causing major crashes, now it was more like a footpath lost in the woods, which is used rarely and only in exceptional cases. Slavia didn't come back. Maybe she had something to do. But once again, there's no way to find out now.
Okay, let's start. Let's go.
Pioneers started to name cities. Finally, it was my turn. I tried to listen closely to catch the first letter of the city I'll have to use. Archangels. We played several rounds. Each new city name made it harder to remember everything that was mentioned before. My attention was dissipated, and I was already lost in all these capitals, megalopolis, villages, and urban settlements.
Semyon, it's your turn.
Olga Dmitrievna brought me back to reality. Oh, excuse me. And what was the last one?
You're daydreaming again. It was Sevastopol.
Okay, then I'll say London.
Already used.
Well then, it got me thinking. There are a ton of cities in the world starting with L, but it was hard to remember even one of them now. Have you used Leningrad? Liverpool?
Already there.
Los Angeles?
Ah, finally.
She gave me a scornful look, but the game went on. I could hardly bear to think of another city starting with L, but fortunately, it was the last round.
Okay, that's enough for today. It's already late, time to go back.
I sighed with relief. On the way back, we walked as we liked without joining in pairs. Night descended upon a camp. A camp? A perfectly regular and normal night. It was one of those nights when dark skies, stars, and even a crescent moon don't cause any special feelings, and the chirping of crickets and the songs of the night birds seem more like routine work noises than a nocturnal chorus. What are we listening to? In a few minutes, all the pioneers were lining up in the square. It was quite late already, and fatigue took its toll, so our lineup wasn't perfectly aligned. It looked to me more like a line of Vikings after a successful battle, where the warriors are happy and smiling, anticipating their return to their families rather than thinking about maintaining correct formation. Maybe I should have gone after Slavia. But someone else could possibly see a completely defeated troop of a bunch of survivors who have to march to their homeland with the last of their strength.
Thanks, everyone. And now go to sleep. It's late already.
Pioneers quickly each ran to their own ways, and I was left together with the camp leader.
And we should go too.
We went in complete silence to Olga Dmitrievna's cabin.
Okay, let's sleep. Okay.
She faded away, she said, turning off the light. I was tossing and turning for quite a while, recalling all the events of the day. On the one hand, I was overcome with fatigue. On the other hand, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had forgotten something, done something wrong, said something wrong. And this feeling of incompleteness was tormenting me. It was about 2 a.m. All bad things would be end sooner or later. Or at least, would take a break. Am I going to dream about something? I fell asleep. Okay. Day 6. I don't know what time it was when Olga Dmitrievna woke me up, but even before opening my eyes, I felt the imminence of death. My whole body ached, I felt dizzy, my mind was clouded by haze.
Savion, wake up immediately or you miss breakfast. And more importantly, the lineup.
Looks like the camp leader intends to exploit me to the fullest today. The camp... Trying to English again. The same as any other days. I garbled something, covered my head with the blanket and turned to the wall. In the end, Olga Dmitrievna's anger will never go beyond words. At least I really wanted to believe so then.
Stand up right now
Or what I was going to say triflingly, but kept silent. Not because of fear, just because I felt too lazy to open my mouth. Really, what could she do to me? Lecture me at the lineup, hang my photo on the wall of shame, or use me for inhuman alien experiments? Well, I'm ready for that too. Just let me sleep a couple of hours.
Okay, but if you miss lineup...
The door slammed behind the camp leader, and the sleep which had been about to fade claimed my mind again. I woke up, dazzled by sunlight. It was 1 PM according to my cell phone, which was squeezing the last drops of charge out of its battery. Strangely enough, my body didn't ache, my head felt clearer, and all in all, it was a good beginning to the day. After waving my arms, pretending to do early exercises, I sprang out of the cabin and headed to the washstands. Yeah, I slept through breakfast, but we will be served lunch soon, so I shouldn't worry that I'll have to stay hungry like I did yesterday. Along the way, I met a pioneer whose face somehow looked strangely familiar. But I was going so fast I couldn't really see him, and when I turned around, he was already gone around the corner. Did he disappear? There was nobody near the washstands. Don't do what you did last time. Everyone is probably busy with Olga Dmitrievna and his tasks and God knows what else. I quickly brushed my teeth, washed my face, and was already going to leave when I suddenly heard the sound of water flowing from the opposite tap. A pioneer leaned against the washstand over there. I couldn't see his face, but judging by his figure, he looked like the one I saw a couple of minutes ago. How are you doing? The sun's so bright today. Am I using the same voice? I looked up into the sky, shielding my eyes with my palm. Why is his name in red? Yeah, nothing special. It wasn't easy to get a better look at the pioneer, given the way he stood, the bright sunlight that reflected from the water and shiny metal surfaces of the washstands heavily obscured his face, and I wasn't able to distinguish any single feature. The pioneer leader is angry today. So angry. His voice sounded painfully familiar too. Well, she's always like that. But maybe he is you. An alternate version of you. Well, you know better. Yeah? I tried to remember if I've ever heard this voice or seen this pioneer before. Well, see ya. He turned the water off and quickly marched towards the forest path. For a second I thought of following him, stopping him, but I quickly fought it off, as I decided that it's not worth spoiling such a great morning with suspicions and burdensome speculation. Nature was glowing with the bright light of life, lush treetops were rhythmically swaying in the wind, whispering to each other, the breeze gently stroked high emerald grass. Birds were cooing in the shade, escaping the midday heat. The woods and fields stretching beneath the horizon were dissolving in warm sunlight. I don't know what it is with today, I'm just having trouble with reading. I don't know which month it is now, but it looks like midsummer. I distinctively remembered the summer vacations of my childhood and youth. Times of fun, leisure and carefree joy. Childhood games, how many there were. I wouldn't say no to playing board games or hide and seek now, or swinging on a bungee, or maybe building a sandcastle and inhabiting it with toy soldiers, free to defend their master to the last drop of their plastic blood. The music goes quiet. I went to the square and sat on the bench waiting for lunch. It looked like there wasn't much time left before it. From time to time, pioneers passed by me, sometimes alone, sometimes in pairs of groups of 3. But always someone I didn't know. Eliza, Ulana, Lena, or Slavia were nowhere to be seen. Thoughts about the meaninglessness of existence were circling in my brain, but this didn't worry me on such a beautiful day. Just think about it. Who could think of grieving for his life lived in vain, or lost early while basking in the rays of such a friendly sun? Certainly not me, for some reason. I looked up at Genda. He was meditating as always. Now he definitely never gets any unnecessary doubts. He's a statue, how could he? Unless he's sentient. I remembered my first hour in this camp, and the day before. The anguish, the anxiety, and the fear. That all seems so far away now, although so little time has passed. Well, I get out of here. Will I get out of here or not? It didn't concern me as much before. Maybe I'm already dead. And with that, I just realised how long it's been going for. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. If you enjoy what I do, why not subscribe? With all that said, thanks for watching, have a fantastic day, and be sure to tune in next time. Cheerio!